He's like my dad in a lot of ways. Once he and I got together, I knew that the combination was going to be magical.
We've had an unbelievable chemistry.
Really?
Sitting next to me right now is the best singer in the world.
This is not a drill. Clive Davis is dead. Right now, everybody line up, oldest to youngest. What happened? Get the biopics out now. He cannot hurt you anymore. He has no power over you.
For years, people have talked about the mysterious note that Whitney Houston reportedly handed to Brandy while Clive Davis was nearby. Because Whitney passed away only hours later in her hotel room, the moment has continued to spark questions and online speculation. Many fans have wondered what the note actually said and whether it held any important meaning. Recently, new rumors have started spreading online, claiming that artists may soon speak more openly about their experiences in the music industry. Some even speculate that Brandy could eventually discuss the note she has long chosen to keep private. However, there is no verified evidence that she has revealed its contents or that it proves wrongdoing in Whitney's death. For now, the mystery remains unsolved, and many people are still waiting to learn the truth, if it ever comes out.
Whitney Houston. Now, I knew you had a connection to her, but I didn't realize, and you write in the book, that shortly before her death, you had a lengthy phone call with her.
I did.
What was that call?
It mattered so much to me because I got a chance to tell her everything I hadn't told her, just how much she inspired me, how much I loved her, her impact in my life. And yeah, it was an emotional conversation. I didn't know it was going to be my last time speaking to her.
News of Clive Davis's passing has sparked many different reactions across the music world. According to public reports, the legendary record executive died at his home in Manhattan, New York, after dealing with respiratory health problems. He was 94 years old. His family released a heartfelt statement describing him as a visionary whose passion for music helped shape generations of artists. They praised his ability to discover talent, guide careers, and leave a lasting impact on the entertainment industry. There is no doubt that Clive Davis played a major role in the success of many famous singers. Throughout his long career, he worked with some of the biggest names in music and helped launch albums that became worldwide hits. Because of his influence, many people remember him as one of the most important music executives of all time. At the same time, his legacy has also been the subject of debate. Over the years, critics have argued that the music business often favored record labels over artists, leaving some performers struggling financially despite selling millions of records. Fans frequently point to well-known cases involving artists such as TLC and Toni Braxton, who publicly spoke about financial difficulties during their careers. These stories have fueled larger conversations about contracts, royalty payments, and the balance of power in the recording industry. Following Clive Davis's death, social media has also seen a wave of old rumors and conspiracy theories return. Some online users have made serious claims linking him to controversies involving various artists. However, many of these accusations have never been supported by verified evidence and should be treated as speculation rather than established fact. One artist whose name often comes up in discussions about Clive Davis is Whitney Houston. The two first met in the early 1980s, and he signed her to Arista Records when she was still a teenager. He became one of the key figures guiding her career, helping introduce her to producers, songwriters, and industry professionals. Together, they worked on her debut album, which became a massive international success and sold millions of copies around the world. Whitney later spoke about their relationship in interviews. She admitted they sometimes disagreed over creative decisions, especially when choosing songs for her albums. Even with those differences, she described Clive as an important mentor who offered valuable advice throughout her career. Their professional relationship remained one of the most talked about partnerships in the music business, and it continues to be remembered as a significant chapter in music history.
What was it? What did you see in him? What made him different? Why Clive Davis?
Wisdom.
Yeah.
Wisdom, his know-how. For a lot of artists, I wanted the guidance. I wanted to know, what made a hit record, and what made me, special, and it could be any song.
As Whitney Houston's career reached incredible heights, her relationship with Clive Davis reportedly became more complicated. Early in her career, she often spoke about how much she appreciated his guidance and support. However, as time passed and she became one of the biggest stars in music, many believed she wanted greater control over her career and creative choices. Reports suggested that by 2012, they were no longer as close as they had once been, and their relationship had grown distant. During that period, Whitney remained especially close to singer Brandy. The two first met in the mid-1990s and developed a strong friendship built on trust and mutual respect. Whitney became both a mentor and a source of encouragement for Brandy throughout her career. Their bond was so meaningful that Whitney personally helped Brandy land the role of Cinderella in the 1997 television movie, where Whitney played the fairy godmother. Working together only strengthened their connection. One story that continues to circulate online involves Whitney unexpectedly appearing during an interview that included Brandy, Monica, and Clive Davis. According to the rumor, Whitney greeted everyone warmly and briefly mentioned that she had almost drowned earlier that day. She then hugged Clive Davis and asked her daughter, Bobby Christina, to greet him as well. During that moment, Whitney allegedly slipped Brandy a handwritten note before quietly walking away. Supporters of this theory claim Whitney created a distraction so Brandy could read the note without drawing attention. However, there is no verified evidence confirming what the note said or whether it contained any important message. The contents of the alleged note have never been publicly confirmed, leaving the story surrounded by speculation. Over the years, the mystery has continued to spark discussion among fans, but without reliable proof, it remains an unverified rumor rather than. After the interview ended, Brandy and Whitney Houston reportedly spent nearly 3 hours talking on the phone. Just 2 days later, Whitney tragically passed away, making Brandy one of the last people known to have spoken with her. Since then, fans have continued to wonder why Whitney unexpectedly appeared at the interview and what was so important that day. Brandy has always said she would keep the contents of the alleged note and their private conversation to herself. The only detail she has publicly shared is that Whitney told her she was planning to get better, making her passing even more heartbreaking. Since Clive Davis's death, online rumors have resurfaced, with some people claiming Brandy may eventually reveal more about that final conversation. Others speculate that fear kept her silent for years. However, there is no verified evidence supporting these claims, and Brandy has never publicly.
In that 1995 meeting in Beverly Hills in the home of Clive Davis, who was responsible for the murder of Whitney Houston, I said it. His days are numbered.
In 2012, Brandy and Monica reunited to promote their song It All Belongs to Me, bringing fans together once again after the success of their earlier collaboration. Around that time, Monica was still working closely with Clive Davis and reportedly wanted his approval before moving forward with the project. Some online stories claim that Clive supported the collaboration because he wanted to strengthen his connection with Brandy and possibly work with her in the future. However, there is no verified evidence confirming that this was his intention. Another rumor that has circulated for years claims Whitney Houston learned about these plans and quickly reached out to Brandy. According to the story, Whitney wanted to warn her about the music business and encouraged her to be careful when signing contracts. Some versions of the rumor even claim Whitney left Brandy a note advising her to stay in control of her career and avoid agreements that could limit her freedom. These claims have never been confirmed by Brandy or supported by reliable evidence. Whitney's own career has often been used as an example in discussions about artist control. When she first signed with Arista Records, Clive Davis surrounded her with an experienced team that helped launch her into superstardom. While many credit that team with building one of the biggest careers in music history, critics have argued that major record labels often keep creative and financial control over their artists. Whether that happened in Whitney's case remains a topic of debate. Fans also point to Whitney's missed opportunities to record with Michael Jackson. In 1987, Michael reportedly wanted Whitney to sing with him on I Just Can't Stop Loving You. The duet never happened, and the official explanation was scheduling conflicts. Years later, there were reports that Michael was again interested in collaborating with Whitney on If I Told You That, but that partnership also fell through. Eventually, the song was released as a duet with George Michael instead. Some fans believe these missed collaborations were simply business decisions, while others have suggested there were other reasons behind them. No evidence has confirmed those theories. One reason these stories continue to spread is because Michael Jackson was known for fighting to own his music catalog and gain greater control over his business. Whitney, on the other hand, worked within a more traditional record label system. This difference has led some people to speculate that she wanted more independence as her career progressed, although Whitney herself rarely spoke publicly about those issues in detail. In 2001, Whitney signed what was widely reported as a historic recording contract worth up to $100 million. The deal made headlines around the world and was presented as one of the biggest contracts ever offered to a recording artist. Reports at the time suggested that part of the money was paid up front, while the remaining amount depended on future album releases and commercial success. As the music industry changed during the early 2000s, Whitney's career also faced major challenges. Album sales across the industry declined because of digital piracy and changing listening habits. At the same time, Whitney was dealing with personal struggles that affected both her health and her ability to record and tour. These difficulties made it harder for her to maintain the level of success she had enjoyed during the previous decade. Over the years, many online commentators have claimed that her record label intentionally reduced support for her projects or placed her in difficult financial situations. However, there is no verified evidence proving those allegations. Likewise, claims that Whitney was trapped by her contract or that anyone deliberately tried to damage her career remain unproven. Another claim frequently shared online is that her recording agreement included clauses covering what would happen if she passed away before fulfilling the contract. Contracts often contain legal provisions dealing with unexpected events, but there is no public evidence showing that such clauses played any role in Whitney Houston's death. Whitney's passing in February 2012 shocked the world. On the same evening, Clive Davis continued with his annual pre-Grammy party at the Beverly Hilton Hotel, where Whitney had been found earlier that day. His decision received heavy criticism from some fans, while others noted that the event had already been planned and that many guests were already present. Clive later said Whitney would have wanted the celebration of music to continue, but opinions remain divided. Today, many of these stories continue to circulate across social media and YouTube. While they make for dramatic discussions, many of the claims have never been supported by credible evidence. Whitney Houston's legacy remains centered on her extraordinary voice, record-breaking career, and lasting impact on music, while many of the rumors surrounding her.
Well, you're a very small minority, because if you knew Whitney better, you knew she was not there to perform.
Yeah.
This was her favorite night of the year. She came out every year. This party was so part of her.
So you're saying that she
so
would
that the family, we spoke to representatives of Pat, who was a manager, and Gary, who was her brother.
Her body was still upstairs.
But we dedicated the evening. Whitney would have wanted this party to go on any more than the Grammys should stop.
According to online rumors, Whitney Houston reportedly believed she was in danger and wanted to make sure someone she trusted knew her side of the story. Some people claim this is why she reached out to Brandy shortly before her death. However, there is no verified evidence supporting these claims, and they remain part of internet speculation rather than established fact. Following Whitney's passing, many critics began taking a closer look at Clive Davis's influence on the music industry. While he is widely recognized for discovering and developing many successful artists, others have argued that the traditional record label system often favored executives over performers. Some former artists and fans have claimed that musicians were left with limited ownership of their work and smaller financial rewards despite generating huge profits. Whitney's career is often mentioned in these discussions because she achieved worldwide success while also facing well-documented personal and professional struggles. Some critics believe she gave years of loyalty to the people guiding her career, but did not always receive the same level of support in return. Others disagree and point to the opportunities she received through her partnership with Arista Records and Clive Davis. Even today, opinions remain divided. Supporters credit Clive Davis with helping shape the careers of some of the biggest names in music history, while critics argue that the industry during his era placed too much control in the hands of record executives instead of the artists themselves. Those debates continue, but many of the more serious claims circulating online have never been proven. As always, these stories have sparked strong reactions from fans. Some believe Whitney deserved far greater protection and creative freedom throughout her career.